Yo, what is going on, guys? Max here. Hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic day so far, and welcome back to Knifing Standards and Tips. This episode is going to be Modern Warfare 2! But anyways, most of you guys know how this series go. Basically, I'm going to be doing exactly what the title says, and I'm just going to be giving you guys what the standards are for Modern Warfare 2 knife feeding, and then I'm going to give you guys tips on how you guys can hit your own MW2 clips as well. And so basically, just diving right into this episode, we are going to start off with the classes, of course. Now, for MW2, there are two classes that I came up with, and just to let you guys know right now, I actually talked to xJMx Axel and xJMx Bullseye. Both of them have MW2 clips, and so basically, I went to those guys because they seem like the best sources for MW2 knife feeding, and I have a whole list of stuff that they told me about. But to start off, we're going to start with the classes right here. Now, for both classes, you're going to want to have a submachine gun for your primary. You're not going to be using it at all, but you want it to be something light, because if your primary is a light machine gun or something like that, or even certain snipers can weigh you down and make it so you don't run as fast. So just make sure that it's something light, such as the UMP45. And your secondary, now there's a lot of things you can use for your secondary weapon. It really doesn't matter what pistol you use. Some people, such as Jam, like to use the .44 Magnum for style because it looks cool in the clip, but it doesn't matter what pistol you use. You can literally use the tack knife on any of these pistols, and so obviously this is the only pistol I have. I'm going to use the USP, and you might notice on my other class that I actually have the USP .45 with a Akimbo. Now, the reason for this, some of you old knifers might know this, but you can actually knife faster with the Akimbo. However, your recovery time is slower, so it just depends on what you want to use. And then, of course, on both classes, you're going to want to use the throwing knife and 2 stun grenades. Yes, stun grenades, go ahead and complain. And then for your primary perk, you are always going to want to use Scavenger Pro. Don't put any other perk on. Now, for your perk 2 and perk 3, there are actually 2 perks you can use for both of these. For perk 2, you can actually either use Lightweight Pro because it'll help you move faster, or you can use Cold-Blooded Pro. I have 2 different classes with the 2 different perks on each one, so it's kind of like a situational thing. If the enemy team is getting a bunch of kill streaks, you might want to slap on that class real quick, or if they're not getting a bunch of kill streaks and you're destroying them, you can use Lightweight so you can run faster. And then for perk 3, like I said, there's 2 different ones you can use. I actually don't have them unlocked, so I just slapped on Scrambler, but the 2 perks you would want to use are Ninja or Sit Rep. I would put Sit Rep on that class with the Lightweight, and then Ninja on your one with the Cold-Blooded, just so you have one class that's dedicated to like stealth and one that's dedicated to like running around and getting a bunch of kills. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, Max, what the hell, why aren't you using Commando? You're knifing. But if you get a clip using stabs with Commando Pro, the clip won't be usable, actually, according to Stimulus Pack standards and xJMx standards. So basically, unless you're knife trick-shotting and you want that no falling damage on Commando Pro, don't use Commando. Now, once you have your 2 classes set up, or one, it just depends on your personal preference, really, hop right on over to Team Deathmatch or Domination. Those are the 2 game modes that I personally think are the best for knife feeding. And now, of course, we're going to talk about knifing standards on this game. So first off, before I go into the standards, I'd like you guys to know that this is actually the hardest COD to knife on out of all of them. Modern Warfare 2 was the first game to have any kind of throwable lethal, such as an axe, tomahawk, or throwing knife, and because of that, they didn't really have a lot of things to help out people using that. There is no perk that will give you 2, there is no perk that will make you throw them faster, and so you throw them really slow, and then you only have 1 as well. The only thing that will actually help you with the throwing knife really is just Scavenger. Now, if you guys didn't know, this is also the only COD that doesn't have those 2 perks as well. Every future COD after MW2 either lets you have 2 throwables or makes you throw them faster, or has both, which makes MW2 the hardest COD to get a throwable clip on. But now we're going to go into the knifing clip standards. So any quad knife feed with at least 2 throwing knives in it is considered usable for at least an episode. So what I mean by that is if you got a quad feed with 2 stabs in it and then 2 throwing knives, that would technically be usable for an episode. Obviously, if you got 3 throwing knives and then a stab, or a stab and 3 throwing knives, that would be usable for an episode as well, so long as you weren't using Commando for the stabs. Like I said, Commando clips aren't usable. And then also, Axel wanted me to mention to you guys that the only time a quad would be usable where you only used 1 TK would be if it was a multi. So if you got a multi with 3 stabs and 1 TK, as long as you didn't miss that TK at all, it would actually be considered usable for your ep. You just have to make sure that it was clean and you didn't miss at all. So of course, earlier I told you guys that for episodes, any clip with at least 2 throwing knives is usable for your episode. Well, if you hit a quad with 3 throwing knives and 1 stab on a large map, it would definitely be usable. usable for a team Taj. What I mean by a large map is like Wasteland or Derail, etc. Like, you know, maps like that that are huge. And if you hit a clip with 3 throwing knives and a stab on it, that would definitely be usable. And then also most multi-kills where you have at least 2 throwing knives in it on any map would also probably be a team Taj clip as well, so long as you didn't miss, like I said earlier. And then of course, last but not least, any quad TK on MW2 is definitely team Taj worthy. Doesn't matter what map it is, doesn't matter how sloppy, well, it might matter how sloppy it is. If you have a ton of misses, it probably won't be usable for a team Taj, but definitely episode worthy. And then a quad throwing knife could actually be closer or opener worthy of a team Taj, depending on what map you were playing on, and then also depending on how you hit it and everything. For example, you guys might know Axel's quad TK on MW2 that he hit for the closer for xJMx's 100k team Taj, and just the way he hit it with that one distance kill and how he turned around and stuff, that's why it was the closer for the 100k team Taj. And if you guys haven't seen it, I'll actually play it right now.
Oh, there is a bunch of people right here. Yes. Oh my god! Did you see that? Quad TK, let's go, boys!
Anyways, guys, that is going to do it for the video. Hope you guys all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to leave a thumbs up. I hope you guys all got something out of this. Hope this makes it a little bit easier for you guys to go out and hit something on MW2. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, this has been Max. Peace.